Hello there, fellow robotics people. This is me, Luke, and this is going to be a little bit a video about Pam. So, since I am leaving this year, there's some things that you guys need to know about how to run it, and some upgrades that need to be done before it's like complete. So first I'm going to go over a little bit how to run it. So if you come over here on one of the laptops that we have, let me just shut everything off. Okay. So first off, the Pamther runs on 2 batteries, one of which is connected at all times. So there will be, I don't have the second one loaded here, but the second battery goes in this slot right here. And then the first battery that's snug up against this yellow tank is connected via this cord. That cord goes right back here. So this is the main breaker. You push this red button, the robot's off. If you want to turn it on, there's a little switch right here that's black. You push that in and you hear a click. Then you should see the lights on the inside turn on. That means the robot is on and ready to connect. So then we come over here to the computer. Now, because we haven't renamed the router, it's still named 6758 Brit. You just want to connect to that. While that's connecting, you can open driver station right here. Alright, so this is FRC driver station. If you've done everything right, all of these should be green right here. This is your battery's voltage. When you see this dip like below 10 and into that 8 voltage range, the battery's dead. You need to change it. Okay. So if you come here, you got to make sure that the Xbox controller is in the slot 0. If it isn't in slot 0, it won't work because it's trying to register the inputs and it's not getting from the correct slot. So that's got to be in the 0 position, and to change that, it's just click and drag. So we come back over here. This is the operation tab. So you want to make sure you're under teleoperated. That means you're the one controlling it. It can't control itself, so you've got to control it. And then all you got to do is you press enable. So now the robot is fully enabled and you can control it. So the controls. This controls the right side, front and back, and the other stick controls the left side, front and back. So if I push both sticks forward, the robot, I can't really do it with one hand, but the robot drives itself forward and backwards. To raise and lower the cannon, you have the top bumpers. I will warn you, currently at the moment, there is no limit on the bumpers. So if you max it out at either top or bottom, you will break the gearbox, and that's a lot of work to fix. So that still needs to be done. That can be done with encoders or with limit switches if you want a hard one. So this one on the left side is to raise it, and that's at max right there. So then that means that the right bumper is to lower it. Okay, good. As far as the pneumatics go, A will extend the barrel. You have to press and hold A to extend the barrel, and all of this is subject to change if you talk to your friendly programmer. So A will extend the barrel. When you let go, it retracts. So down, I'm off, and it retracts. B will activate this right here, which is the kicker. So this is how you shoot the shells out once you've shot. So in order to successfully reload, you hold A, press B, and the kicker is on a toggle, so you have to press B again to drop the next shell, and then let go of A. So that's A, press B again, let go of A. Okay, good. And then the most important one, of course, is why. That triggers the main solenoid to fire the cannon. So, keeping on the, we'll wait for the compressor. There we go. Keeping on the topic of pneumatics, let's go over the pneumatics on Pam so you guys know what's up with that. I'll raise the cannon to get a better view. Okay. So this guy right here is the main tank. You can see the pressure in it right here. This one will only want to go to 120, any higher, and it gets unsafe. Now, it has been leaking, so the leak is somewhere within these fittings right here. So that just needs to get pulled out and redone. So this right here is your main filler. This can only connect to that one green hose that's usually over there. Maybe in the future we can get a Y splitter so it can connect to both fittings, but for now this is the way we do things. So when you plug it in, you want to make sure that this switch right here, the valve, is off. You'll know it's on if it's in line with the pipe. If it is not, it is off. So you start with it off, you plug it in, and then you open the valve to let the air into the tank. Once it gets to 120, close the valve and disconnect. So that's how you fill the main cannon's tank. Now coming over here, you'll see a couple of regulators. This regulator right here will regulate the amount of pressure that goes into the main tank for shooting. So right now I believe it's set to unlimited. You can change that by twisting it. You can see that there's a plus that will increase the pressure and a minus that will decrease the pressure. Let's see here. This regulator goes to... Well, the other two regulators, you shouldn't need to worry about. Those should be set to the right ones. And if you do need to change it, you can always trace it back to where it goes to. But I think I've got those settings set. This right here is the main dump for the secondary pneumatics. So on PAM, we run two different pneumatic sets. The main tank for only firing, that's all that does. And then we also have two smaller tanks here and down there, and then a compressor as well that feeds the pneumatics on this, which would be the cannon moving forward and the kicker coming out. Both of those are run by a separate system. So through that separate system, we have a separate relief valve, and that's this one right here. So if you push it down, it releases, and you close it, you're good to go. Whenever you're turning it off for good, make sure both valves are open so we don't build pressure and stuff could go bad. At the very least, it keeps pressure out of the system and stuff stays, has a longer shelf life. All right, so that's all of the pneumatics in there. What else? Yes. And you can tell there's a little bit of a leak in the secondary system just because the compressor will kick on and off. Okay, so for the wheels, let that focus. All right, so this is not really working the best. You can see that these wheels are getting really eaten alive and it's spraying all the spatter here. They don't last long. They're not meant for this by any means whatsoever. And the chain's getting kind of gummy too. So we're gonna switch those out. I have ordered some wheelchair wheels that will replace these. They should fit and work just perfectly, but that means that you need to design a new side plate to mount them on. So this is up to you guys. So the wheels will be able to go from top to bottom the entire length of the way. So it'll support it on the top as well as the bottom. We'll have 4 wheels on each side, and that should be good. Maybe 3 if it's a little claustrophobic in there for the wheels, but 4 should be okay. It also needs to be able to run without tracks, because with these tracks we mark up the floors pretty heavily, so we'll only use these outdoors on the turf. So that means that you are going to need to do some math. Yeah, I know it's hard, but you're going to have to do some trigonometry. We're going to switch out this wheel for the belts, and you need to figure out from here to what distance on this plate will you be able to run the FRC belts? Okay, if you need like a better talk through about that, feel free to ask me. So we'll run a belt from here to one wheel here, and then another belt from that wheel to a front wheel to switch this thing without tracks and run it strictly on wheels. Kind of like this, just without the track and belts to drive it. All right, the other thing to talk about is this guy back here. So I haven't come up with a solution to this, because currently we are driving this with friction only, meaning the only way that this pushes stuff is its grippiness. It's not going through the chain whatsoever, which is okay in terms of it doesn't derail as often, but it isn't good if it's trying to push, because this will just end up slipping on the track. You may find that problematic on harder surfaces like cement or grass to turn. In that case, just take a larger radius and you should be fine, unless you figure out a better solution. Moving to the front of the tracks, you'll see the tensioner wheel right here. So these bearings do tend to get a little bit hot when run for a long time because they're under a lot of force. Might be something to look into to fix. So to tension it, it isn't that difficult. You put a wrench here, you put a wrench here on this one, and you pull back as hard as you can and tighten them. That's how you tension it. As far as the chain goes, at some point it could probably be cleaned out. It's a little dirty, and re-oiled, so that way we don't get the rusty links. That won't be good. Other than that, extra stuff if anything breaks, track-wise at least. This is where all of the tracks pieces are. There's a couple extra in there, and the extra screws, and a bunch of starter pieces if you need to manufacture more. And in that case, the plates should stay up here. These are the mounting plates for it. And the file is on the flash drive. Just reuse the same one, but definitely ask somebody how to do that, because the mill can be very scary and can break stuff. Other than that, I think that's it. Maybe. There's still a little bit that needs to be done, and if you have questions, feel free to ask me, but yeah. Oh, armor. The armor didn't really come out how I wanted it to. It kind of works, but when the cannon is fully back, it can't eject shells because the armor level sits like right here. So it keeps the shells from ejecting. I didn't really think that through fully, to be honest, but it's there if you want to throw it on. You don't have to. Other than that, I think that's it for the Pamther. Good luck.